Friends, humans, Disney fans, welcome back to another video of this brand new Lend Me Your Ears MCU character bracket. And right now, Sherif and I, builder of brackets, we're gonna break down the villain side of this 64 character bracket. Are you ready, sir?
So ready!
All right, let's get down to it. And we're back. Thank you for joining us again. If you watched that whole hero video, thank you so much. Thank you also for joining us again here for the villain side of this bracket.
Thrilled to have you.
32 villains. Now, I will say this is not going to be quite as interesting. The matchups are not quite as compelling as the ones in the hero side of the bracket, just because we had less villains
to work with. The Marvel Cinematic Universe, they tend to do a one big baddie that a bunch of good guys that are not quite as individually powerful have to team up and beat. So there are fewer bad guys.
True story.
Drawing from all the different Marvel movies, we can round out a list of 32. But there are some people that you're like, who?
And there was really no one, like when we talked about the heroes, it was like, can't believe this person didn't make it and this person didn't make it, and I can't believe how low-seeded this person is. Like, there really isn't any of that in the villain side of the bracket. I think
I'll give
everyone
you one
who needed to make it. Whoa, really, who?
Yeah, so, you guys are familiar with the Black Order.
Okay.
Thanos' group of henchmen. Ebony Maw made it on here. He's moderately high.
It's pretty cool.
Proxima Midnight, number 32.
Yeah, just barely made it.
No Cull Obsidian, no Corvus Glaive. Just weird that 2 out of the Black Order wouldn't make it in.
Now, I'm going to say something that is maybe shocking, but I have never read a comic. I've only watched all the MCU movies. Maybe in the comics, Cull and Corvus stand out more, but in the movies, I'm like, which one is that? Which one is he?
Sure. Yeah.
I'm confused. Like, Proxima Midnight stands out because she's got this whole thing with, like, Scarlet Witch, and they have that little battle, like all the ladies do during Infinity War. Like, she stands out to me, and I know which one she is. And then Ebony Maw, absolutely.
Obviously,
I mean, he is like...
He's sinister. He's evil.
I don't know why I like him
He's
so much.
condescending.
I really do.
Yeah, you gravitate towards people like that.
Oh, he kicks off all of Infinity War with like, rejoice, for you are now, you have been saved by Thanos, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, oh, you're so weird.
It's a real bootlicker.
But he's so powerful also with like how he can just move things. Like, I really like him a lot. I think he's really cool. Yeah. So, shall we get right down to it? I am not surprised, but I'll do the same thing I did with the heroes. I'm going to name off the top 5 first. Number 1, our big baddie, doesn't surprise anybody, with the Infinity Gauntlet, Mr. Thanos, the Mad Titan himself.
That's right.
Number 2, which I think honestly is going to give Thanos a run for his money.
Very popular.
Is Loki.
Yeah.
Loki is going to do well on this bracket. That's what I have to say.
Because Loki's awesome.
Loki, again, just like his
God of mischief.
brother, he ticks all the boxes. Super cool, he's a good-looking guy, he's super mischievous, but he also helps out the good guys.
He knows on which side his bread is buttered.
He's just very advantageous, is that the right word? Like,
opportunist.
That opportunist, he does whatever he does, the motivation is...
He is an opportunist, or he is opportunistic.
Yes, is to make himself greater, but sometimes it's to his best interest to help his brother, like in Thor Ragnarok.
Yep.
So he's going to do quite well. So that's our top 2. We have Hela at number 3, which I like Hela, but
Love
I'm kind of
Hela.
surprised that she is number 3, if I'm being honest.
She's so BA.
She's super duper BA.
And she really leaves her mark on that movie, and I mean, they have to destroy Asgard in order to get rid of her. And
she literally just is like, she's the goddess of death. Like, she kills literally everyone. Like, and she doesn't
her spikes,
care.
and it's...
She's so cool.
And she's like, oh, Mjolnir? Oh, this thing?
Oh,
just
that
devastating.
was crazy.
Devastating.
4 is Red Skull, which again, I'm a
Oh, I hate that face right now. Red Skull is essentially the impetus for all of this. Red Skull puts into motion...
Oh, you hate my face.
Hydra.
I thought you hated Red Skull's face. I'm like, well, yeah.
No, Red Skull's incredible. Okay, first of all, an incredible villain, okay? But the legacy of the Red Skull goes on and lives on. It's super cool.
What do you think about him being like the keeper of the Soul Stone? Is that weird to you? Like, well, because he was like such a big baddie in Captain America, and now he's just the guy who's like, oh, Sherif, son of blood. Like, that's all he does now. He's just doomed.
Yeah, well, he's gone. He's dead. He's not dead, but he's moved on.
Well, whatever. I don't personally think he deserves to be in the top 5, but that's okay. And then number 5, this is also surprising to me how high up he is. I personally like this villain a lot.
Yeah, me too.
But I'm surprised he's so high, and it's Ego, the Living Planet. I love that it's Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell is a Disney legend. I don't know if you know this, but Disney has legends. They it's almost kind of like their Hall of Fame.
Okay.
They put people into every year. Like Kurt Russell was in a lot of Disney movies as a
like
youngin'.
what?
Oh yeah, like a lot of live action Disney movies. He's one of the voices. I don't remember if he's the fox or the hound, but he's one of those. He's a big deal in Disney history. While we're speaking about Disney legends, Mr. Jon Favreau, who we talked about in the last video, also a Disney legend.
Huh.
There's probably more on this list, but those two are really sticking out to me. I love Guardians of the Galaxy too.
Yeah.
When we rank our movies, it's very high up for me. It's higher than the original Guardians, personally.
Wow, okay, I really like the original Guardians.
The rewatchability, there's something that happens in Guardians, like the original Guardians, like maybe 2/3 of the way through, that I kind of get like a little bored with it. But the second one just keeps me entertained altogether. And there's another movie that loses me about 2/3 of the way through, which you'd be very upset with me, but we don't have to go there right now.
Hold on. Guardians of the Galaxy 1 was like, what, the 7th movie to come out in order? How many movies are before it?
Don't ask me. I think it's in the second phase.
Sure. First movie, second phase, something like that?
Maybe.
Okay. It comes out. I'm in the theater. I've seen all the other Marvel movies. I know what to expect. And it starts, and I'm like, this is different.
Right?
I'm not ready for 80s music. How fun is this? And then Peter Quill, and I love Chris Pratt.
I love Chris Pratt too. All the Chris's.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of all the Chris's. It's like a prerequisite to be in the MCU.
You gotta be Chris.
Needs to be Chris.
Yeah.
But
he and Star-Lord is so cool and so unself-aware, and it's delicious. Like usually, if you have somebody who's not self-aware, it's irritating. Star-Lord, I just want
endearing. Yeah. He's a hero, and we're talking.
Yeah,
about
that's right. I'm
villains
sorry. I'm way off track.
Villains, but that's okay. So those are our top 5. We can touch on them a little bit more later on, but do you want to talk a little bit about some of the more intriguing matchups in this first round?
Yes, let's do that.
Okay. Which is your favorite?
Here are 2 people that off the top of my head, I'm like, I don't remember who this person is. I had to go to the Google machine. I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember them. Number 14, number 19, Obadiah Stane versus Alexander Pierce. 2 just bad guys.
I love this matchup. They're both played by like these very well-known
giant actors. Yeah.
Jeff Bridges, Robert Redford, like big deal. They're both these older guys. They're these guys who you think you can trust, and then they end up being very corrupt and bad
Robert Redford,
guys.
who is not just like, oh, what a grandfatherly figure he is.
And then it turns out to be bad.
So bad.
Alexander Pierce, Robert Redford's character, is the lower seed, but I'm really interested to see what happens. I kind of do think that Obadiah Stane will take it because he's the big bad in the very first ever
and
MCU
he's
movie.
so good.
He's very good.
And especially when he comes out to Iron Man as a bad guy, he's like, what did you think I was going to let you do? War is bad. We sell weapons, dummy.
Right. But, okay, so his big moment that everyone always, like it's a meme, everyone always references it, is when he goes and yells at the guy, Tony Stark made this in a cave! Like the arc reactor. Do you know the part I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Do you know the guy he's yelling at? Do you know who that is?
No.
It's Peter Billingsley. I think that's his name. And he's Ralphie from A Christmas Story.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He's in a lot of Jon Favreau's movies. I think they're buds. I think they're friends.
Okay, Christmas Story. Made here in Cleveland.
The more you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so that one will be interesting. We were going to talk a little bit about the 17-16 matchup too, which is always interesting.
It is.
These two characters are very, very dissimilar, so
Very.
I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen. But at number 16, we have Arnim Zola. And at number 17, we have Dormammu. Now, Arnim Zola, of course, is a bad guy in the first Captain America.
Hydra, he's
like
the scientist, the
Red
brilliant
Skull's
bad
like
guy.
whatever.
Yeah.
Next, what would you even call him? He's just...
He's like his lieutenant. His
Now,
brilliant-minded evil scientist that is going to kill people.
In that movie, you almost get the vibe that he is like just kind of conflicted, that like I'm doing this for him, but I'm really not sure if I should be. But,
I'm into the science. The evilness comes later.
But come Winter Soldier, he's like fully
committed.
bad, and he's also like his consciousness is uploaded into like a giant computer.
Hydra does some weird stuff.
It's a little bit strange. He's not my favorite. I was looking up when I was looking for pictures to do the voting and stuff. In the comic, his character that's like in the computer is so weird. Have you seen it? It's like a man. It's like a robot man, and his like face is on a screen on this robot man.
Okay.
It's very, very strange. But he's going up against Dormammu.
Yeah.
Who is very, very powerful.
Very
The
powerful.
king of the dark dimension, whatever, what have you, almost destroys the world, really, with the help of Caecilius, who is also on this bracket. We'll get to that later. But he's in the movie for a total of what? 3 minutes?
Sure, give or take. Maybe 5.
Dormammu, I've come to bargain. Over and over and over. And here's my fun factoid for this.
Yes.
I was looking up who voiced Dormammu.
Yeah.
Benedict Cumberbatch. Doctor Strange himself also voices Dormammu, so he's arguing with himself.
Both sides of that?
Both sides of that.
My goodness.
I did not know that. My mind was blown.
Benedict Cumberbatch has quite a voice.
Oh, Benedict Cumberbatch is amazing.
I mean, he's the voice of Smaug.
Oh, yes. In
He's
the
Sherlock
Hobbit.
Holmes.
Oh, yes. Have you ever seen the interview where he apparently did like a voiceover for one of these like Planet Earth movies, and that he couldn't say penguin? You gotta look up the clip. Look up Benedict
I know what I'm doing as soon as we're
Cumberbatch.
done with this. Penguin.
Like, messes up the word penguin, but like every time he says it in the documentary, it gets worse and worse and worse. It's like penguin, and then by the end it's penwing. Like, he can't say it. It's so funny. Anyway, Doctor Strange is, I'm really not sure what's gonna happen if
Dormammu.
or Arnim Zola is gonna take that, and I really don't care. Because whoever wins it is going up against Thanos in the next round after he beats Proxima Midnight, and he's going to take him.
Yeah.
So, what else? What else is interesting to you here, sir?
I think number 12, Ronan,
Okay.
badly overrated, against number 21, The Collector. That could be really a lot of fun.
Let's talk a little bit about why the Collector is on the bad guy side, because I kind of don't think he belongs on either side. Like, to me, he's just this very neutral, like, he collects things.
It's one line.
And people get stuff from
It's
him.
one line.
What?
At
What
the
is
end of Guardians of the Galaxy,
Mm-hmm.
2 Asgardians come and they deliver
The reality stone.
the reality stone to him.
The Aether, as it were.
And then they leave, and he says, 1 down, 5 to go. He sounds so sinister. Plus, his brother is the Grand Master.
Is it?
Yeah,
They both have that thing on their lip.
they're brothers.
Is that confirmed or is that a theory?
It's confirmed. I don't.
Really?
Yeah.
So, well, you're teaching me things
They're
I didn't know that.
what the originals, the Eternals. They're like some of the original creations of the galaxy.
Interesting. Okay, so we have the Collector versus Ronan. They are
The Collector's
both in-
so much more fun. So much more fun.
The Collector is more fun, but
Ronan is a failed lieutenant of Thanos.
Ronan is like so ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's so vengeful, and you're just like, ugh, lay off, dude. Like,
He's typical
take a
Kree.
chill
Typical
pill.
Kree.
He's got that really cool, like, giant hammer staff thing that's already powerful in and of
Mm-hmm.
itself, and then he smacks the Power Stone into it. He has the epic dance-off with Star-Lord at the end of the movie, which he doesn't dance at all. He just goes like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And then Rocket's like this, pow!
I
Then,
love Rocket.
okay, we're reliving the whole scene. But I don't know. I think personally, just from badness, Ronan will take it. Like,
Okay.
he's worse
Yeah,
than
the
the
Collector's not necessarily
When
yeah.
the Collector says 2 down, whatever.
1 down.
One
down,
whatever.
5 to go.
When he says that, don't you feel like he is collecting it for Thanos? Like, he's not collecting it for himself.
He's not collecting it for Thanos.
You don't think so?
No, Thanos comes in and kicks his butt later to grab what he has.
I don't know, guys. The Collector is not that compelling to me. I think I would vote for Ronan. I may not vote for him in the next. No, I definitely wouldn't vote for him in the next round. But
He's going up against Ego.
yeah, and Ego, like we just mentioned, we
Ego's
like
going
a
up against
lot.
Agent Sitwell.
Agent Jasper Sitwell is his first name. I just found out.
I didn't know that.
And I don't know. He is super uncompelling to me. I'm kind of surprised he made it onto the top 32. He's just a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent who ends up being Hydra. Kind of like Alexander Pierce, kind of like Crossbones, who is number 31. And all of them are just kind of like, whatever. You know what? This is a hot take. Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
Not a huge fan of Winter Soldier, like the movie. Not one of my favorite
okay.
movies. And I know that most people, like, it ranks very, very high.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, I'm just like, take it or leave it.
Okay.
Like, it's just not one of my favorites.
I like Crossbones.
And they're all baddies from that movie, so I'm just kind of like, meh.
Okay. I thought Crossbones was cool with his fists. Drunk.
He's okay.
Yeah, okay.
He's at the beginning of Civil War too, right? Isn't that who they're fighting at the beginning when Wanda accidentally blows up the building?
Yeah, that's right.
So,
The terrorist.
some other interesting ones here. We were talking about 13 versus 20. Whiplash versus Grandmaster. Whiplash is the higher seed at 13. You're saying, sir, that you do not care for Whiplash.
Yeah, Whiplash is fine. Whatever. Blah, blah, blah. Give me the Grandmaster.
Okay, here's where you're wrong. Okay? Okay, and here's the other thing. People hate on Iron Man 2. I really, really, really like Iron Man 2.
Because you love bad movies. Yeah, yeah.
Here's the thing. I was not one of these that was like, I definitely have come into the MCU later. Like, there are several movies that I did not see in the theater. But Iron Man 2, I absolutely did see in the theater. And I remember walking away from it, really enjoying it, having had an awesome, awesome time.
Okay, that's good.
I love the scene when he's at the race and Whiplash comes out and just starts, like, cutting apart the car. And Happy, we all love Happy.
So
Happy
do.
and Pepper. They bring the football, and that's, like, a really cool scene where he just, like, grabs it and then the armor, like, goes on him. I love that whole scene. Whiplash is super intriguing to me because his father worked with Tony's father,
right.
Howard Stark, and then they ended up both going just such different directions. But I don't know, his father ended up being a spy or something. I don't know, something weird. But I do like him. Mickey Rourke is so weird.
Mickey Rourke is super weird.
But he plays that part really well because the guy is super weird.
Yeah.
Bring me my bird. I need my bird. Like, he's got to have the bird. And Justin Hammer, who's also on this list. We'll talk about him maybe later. But I do like Whiplash, but I do think you're right. It might be the upset because who doesn't love
Come on.
Jeff Goldblum?
I know.
And the Grandmaster is great. He plays that part perfectly.
Yeah. The casting in the MCU is immaculate.
It really is.
They have all the money, so they just throw it at people.
Other than Edward Norton as the Hulk.
I know one of my favorite actors of all time. I mean, he's like top 5.
I like him. He shouldn't have been the Hulk.
He was a really good Hulk.
Mark Ruffalo is so much better. Okay, never mind.
Forget it.
All right, anything else that's super interesting? Okay, I know what I wanted to say that I am mad about. So mad that mad has 2 syllables. Mad. Nebula
Yeah?
and Yondu.
Yeah.
They should not be on the villain list, sir. And
They're
here's
bad
what.
guys.
Here's what. We should be taking them, we should be looking at their whole character, and we should be taking them from the last point we saw them, in which they were being good, helping the good guys, helping good win over evil.
They're just like Loki. They're self-serve. Well, maybe. Yondu just has a soft spot for Peter Quill. That's all.
But again, Loki goes like good, bad, good, bad, good, bad.
No, Loki's always bad. He's always bad.
But Nebula, legit, I would absolutely say Nebula legit turns good. To the point where she's arguing with her old self in Endgame, trying to be like, you're wrong. You need to, don't you see what we become? Nebula should be a good guy. And I'm so upset because what number is she here?
6.
She's number 6, so at least she is high up.
She's going up against Mordo.
Which, to my point, is good all through Doctor Strange until the end credit scene. And you're like, I don't know, this guy might be bad. Like, so literally, that's the only thing that gets him onto the villain bracket.
Too many sorcerers.
But Nebula's on the villain bracket, even though she ends up being good.
Listen, they're villains, guys. I don't know what to tell you. If Google it.
Yondu has an amazing story arc, and he earns that Ravager funeral at the end with all the fireworks and stuff, and they're all like,
yeah.
Come on! Yondu's amazing!
All the Ravager bad guys, too, by the way.
I know. They are. But he's basically Star-Lord's dad.
Stepdad.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all! He's so great. Do you remember that part? Like
Yondu
Poppins.
is good.
He
Again,
cool?
Another perfectly cast actor.
So good.
I don't remember his name, but he's the guy from The Walking Dead.
Rooker?
Sure.
And I've never seen The Walking Dead because I don't care for zombies, but he's in that.
He is.
I didn't know.
First couple seasons, yep.
So I just really love both Nebula and Yondu. I love the complexity of their characters, and if they have to be on the villain bracket, I suppose I'm glad they're seated as high as they are so they can make it to the
Yondu's
next
number
round.
8, going up against Surtur.
Surtur,
Yeah,
which I think
the fire
made
demon.
it,
Holy cow.
I think made it onto the bracket just because like his interactions with Thor are hilarious. He ultimately is the one who destroys
Hello. And Asgard.
And Asgard, who brings about Ragnarok.
Yep.
He is voiced by Clancy Brown,
Don't know who that is.
who is Mr. Krabs.
Who's Mr. Krabs?
SpongeBob, have you heard of it?
I have heard of it. I don't know who Mr. Krabs is, though. Is this the guy who owns a restaurant?
Yes.
Okay.
Krabby,
So sorry.
Krabby Patty at the
So sorry,
Krusty-
guys.
the Krusty Krab.
My kids don't yet watch SpongeBob.
it's really okay, but they don't because it's just mind rot. Okay, it's not Disney. So, is there anything else you wanted to talk about that's extremely interesting?
Yellow Jacket at 29, Ghost at 30. There you go. That's the Pemtech bad guys.
Yeah, they're not interesting.
Ultron number 7, going up against Thaddeus Ross number 26. Taserface number 23, going up against number 10, Mysterio. Mysterio's a little bit highly ranked.
How about the fact that Taserface made it onto the bracket at all? I personally like him. I think he's really funny. That's the only reason why I voted for him. But, well, not the only reason. The other thing that gets me is, like, legit my skin crawls. Like, I feel sick to my stomach when they're throwing the Ravagers off the ship. Do you know the part I'm talking about?
that were loyal to Yondu.
Yes. Like, literally, there's just something about that just makes me like, this is the most despicable thing you could do to someone. And then, like, you see the one person go out, and then you see that they'd already done it to dozens other people. Like, blah. It just makes my skin crawl.
Space Pirates, y'all.
So, I mean, and in that regard, like, hello, yes, Yondu is good compared to Taserface.
They're both bad. They're both bad. They're both villains. They're both villains.
Taserface won't beat Mysterio. Mysterio will move on. He, of course, is from Far From Home. Ulysses Claw versus Ebony Maw. The Claw versus the Maw.
15 versus 18.
I honestly, I don't know. I would vote for Ebony Maw.
Yeah,
I
me
think
too.
he's just really, really cool, which would be the upset. Ulysses Claw is just, he's in Ultron when he loses his arm, and then he's in Black Panther when he's got, like, the vibranium arm thing.
Not for very long.
He's just, like...
Killmonger takes care of him very quickly.
He's just a stupid bad guy. I don't know. He's not compelling to me at all. I'm not interested.
Yep.
Not interested, Claw! Okay.
So... Guys, this is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be really fun. I don't think that we missed anything. I think we talked about everything. Killmonger's absolutely going to take out Caecilius. 9 versus 24. So it is going to be super duper fun, guys. Wait until the second round of the villain side of the bracket for it to really
become
heat
more
up.
compelling and make you get a little bit of indecision in you.
You're gonna feel that way immediately on the hero side of things, but on the villain side, just give it a hot second till we make it to the second round. And like I said in the hero video that we just did, you can vote on my Facebook, on my Instagram, on my Twitter, and most recently, I just created a TikTok, and I'm figuring out how you can vote on there also. You can do polls. It's gonna be very, very interesting. Search me up, lend me your ears. You should be able to find me on all of those social media platforms.
Don't let your kids join TikTok. It's got some really dark corners. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so thank you for being here.
Absolutely, I'm excited. This is
brackets.
Of all the brackets, this is one that I think is going to be really fun all the way through. I'm really excited for it.
This one and then Star Wars was great too, and this is reminding me
all
of
of them
Star
are great
Wars.
in different ways, but yeah, this I'm just like, oh.
I love it when you have all these characters. It's going to be really, really fun. So join us. Tell all your friends. They're not going to want to miss it. And we will see you on the social media platforms. Until then, this is Sherif and Melanie saying...